Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my 1985 Dodge Ram D150. We're going to be ditching the Carter Edelbrock carburetor and going to a Holley style carburetor. The Holley, I think it's a little bit more tunable than the Edelbrock. I'm trying to squeeze just a little bit more gas mileage out of the thing. I think I'll be able to do that better with the Holley than the Carter, or Edelbrock, I mean. I keep saying Carter. Yeah, it's basically either Carter or Edelbrock bought Carter, so they're all the same carburetors basically. But anyways, but yeah, the Holley I think is going to be a little bit more tunable in the end. There's more adjustment with the Holley, and I think I could get a little bit more fuel economy out of the thing without sacrificing any power. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let me show you what we're going to do. So that's what I'm going to end up doing today, is pulling the Edelbrock Carb, installing the Holley, and then retuning the truck and see if we could get it better. See if we could squeeze a little bit more gas mileage out of it. But yeah, I just feel that the Holley is going to be more tunable for what I'm trying to do. So we'll see if it pans out or not. If I already have a baseline gas mileage for the truck the way it is, I can always go back if the Holley doesn't work out, but I think it will. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the Edelbrock carburetor. It's a AVS2. And we're going to be switching to this Holley style carburetor. It's a brawler. I think it's a 750. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, the Carter, or the Edelbrock, yeah, I keep mixing that up. Anyways, the Carter, you have main jet, so you could change out along with the needles and springs. The Holley, to adjust your air-fuel ratio, you still have a main jet and you have a power valve, which will do the same thing as, well, the similar job in a Holley as the metering rods and the main jet. Along with, you have these air bleeds there that you could change, and also in the metering block, in this metering block, there's jets I could screw into the emulsion wells. So the Holley has more adjustability. We'll see if it gets me in trouble or not. But I think, because it runs, right now it runs rich at certain speeds, and then it leans out as you go. I think it was running rich around 60 miles an hour, and then it leans out to where it's supposed to be around stoichiometric at 70. There's probably a way to do it with the Edelbrock Carb. Well, I know there's a way to do it with the Edelbrock Carb. If you wanted to mess with an Edelbrock carburetor, try to see if you could Google Edelbrock carburetors, advanced carburetor tuning. I mean, it's a good tuning guide, but it's just not as easily done as the Holley. There's like the air bleeds, idle air, they call it a bypass idle air bleed on a Edelbrock, and that's going to be similar to the I can't think of it. Anyways, it's pressed into the Carter already, so you can't easily adjust it. They're using like a jeweler's wire, 30 gauge wire, wrapping around the screw that retains the booster, and inserting it into there to try to make that orifice smaller. So to try riching it up, or lean it out, I forget which. Just you have to read the directions, see what it does. I forget how it works again. It's been a while since I read it, but I don't know. I just like the Edelbrock or the Holley better, that you take an air bleed out and you screw a new one in. This one, I don't know. I guess you could do that, just not as easily. Found the box. It is a 750 CFM 4-barrel vacuum secondary carb. Most of the gasket came off nicely, so it wasn't too bad to clean up. But I used a razor blade, clean off anything that was stuck to it. I had to move the studs out from the narrow bolt pattern for a Edelbrock carburetor to the wider Holley ones. So the Holley's ready to drop on. Before I stick the carburetor back on, you can see how clean it's staying inside the intake manifold. That's because I run a catch can on the PCV. Runs over to the PCV on the valve cover, so it catches any oil, moisture, anything like that that's coming out of the PCV that would be going into the back into the intake manifold. And this thing does collect quite a bit of oil. I mean, the engine's got some miles on it, so I think there's a little bit more blow by and stuff that's coming out than what a new engine would be. But it collects it all here. It's keeping the intake manifold nice and clean, keeping oil contamination from getting into the back into the combustion chamber and diluting the mixture. So that's doing its job. I am going to have to extend the hose because on the Edelbrock, the big hole port for the brake booster, or the, well, no, there's a big port on the front of the Carter or Edelbrock. On the Holley, it's on the back, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit longer piece of hose and run the hose around the back. But other than that, everything should pretty much go back together. Not too bad. So let me get the Holley back on and button it up. So this is how I like to set up my fuel line. This is coming in from the fuel pump from the gas tank, goes into that bowl of the Holley, comes across, goes that bowl of the Holley, then comes out and goes over the pressure regulator over here. I like doing that so more fuel is constantly being circulated instead of it just heat soaking and getting warm. So as much as possible, the fuel is constantly being circulated, so it's not just heat soaking inside the engine compartment. That's the way I like to run it. Some people run it as a deadhead system where the regulator is before the carburetor and then it just deadheads here. This would be just an elbow here. It would come in from the regulator at this end. But more fuel sits and heat soaks. So I don't like doing it that way. So this is the way I like to do it. It seems to work pretty good. Never had a vapor lock issue. So yeah, carburetor's on. The front fuel bowl set perfect from the factory, but the rear bowl was set really high. So I don't think you can, oh, there's no sight glass on that side. So you can see the fuel sloshing around there. It's right in the middle of the sight glass. The rear one was set so high it was dribbling out the booster. So I'll take one screw out, drain that bowl, and then I have an electric fuel pump, so it's easy to prime the engine, make sure there's fuel in the carburetor. Just turn the key on, turn the pump on. I'm just need to verify that it's running at 6.5 psi, and then we're ready to start it up. So with the electric fuel pump, it's nice to check for leaks. You don't have to have the engine running, but we're good with leaks, no leaks. I took it for a drive to get the truck up to operating temperature. I brought it back, spent some time with the idle mixture screws. It's running pretty nice right now with the way that the idle mixture screws are at. It's idling about 600 RPM. And the air-fuel ratio is right around stoichiometric and idle. And it's pulling just over 18 inches of vacuum. So yeah, it seems to be idling quite well with the current settings. And now the fun begins of driving it and tuning it and get it to run perfect. So that's the next step. So just got back from doing our fuel economy loop for the D150. With the Holley carburetor, and we averaged 15.2 miles to the gallon. So I think before with the carburetor, it was around 12 point something, so we picked up 2 or 3 miles to the gallon, something like that. And I was able to get that hesitation tuned out of it with the Holley that I couldn't tune out with the Edelbrock. So yeah, I'm very happy switching to the Holley. It took a little bit of time changing jets out, trying different ones to get the tune right, but I think it's pretty close. I don't think I could go any leaner without starting to develop another hesitation. But yeah, 15 miles to the gallon for a pickup truck. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's where we are right now, as of now, with the D150. And please subscribe. Run out of ideas, but I think I got something else up my sleeve yet to see if we could squeeze out a little bit more gas mileage. So that'll be on the next video that we do with the D150.